Hey guys, what's going on? Parker here for part 3 of episode 1 of Throwback Hand History Reviews. This is the $215 Sunday warm-up from February of 2012, so it's a pretty long one to go. $118,000 for first. Today we are going to play down to 4K, 8K big blind. Yeah, so if you guys have, you're just tuning in now, make sure you check out part 1 and part 2, and there's going to be a few more parts to come, so stay tuned and let's hop into it. So we're not incredibly deep stacked at this point in the tournament. In fact, we have only 27 big blinds, so we're not that deep at all. Maybe this is where it changes. Okay, so we saw a 3-bet with queens in not a similar. It was for even more big blinds before, like 57. No, that was with kings earlier on. I think that calling this is completely fine. I think it's good. There's lots of rejam stacks behind. In fact, a lot of rejam stacks. Just MTT play, Covey, Berrybab, Mossop, Juiced Sprout all have around 16 to 22 big blinds. 16 to 21 big blinds. Clunch is about 30. Deconnor about 35. So yeah, it's a lot of rejam stacks behind. So you're gonna expect something like this. I mean, I don't expect him to have like a loose hand, but he could have like ace 10, like pocket sixes. You know, I do expect to see like a lot of stronger holdings though, like primarily hands like ace queen, ace king, 2 10s, ace jack. But we pretty much flop him dead. He has to hit running aces, running queens, or running sixes, and he's dead on the turn. So that's nice. I feel like we're gonna be saying that's nice a lot because, you know, I make a deep run in the tournament. In fact, over on the Twitch channel, the boys are trying to get us to get a that's nice emote. Because I do say that's nice often. Jacks, that's nice. Oh, goodness me. Here's the tiny 3-bet sizing that I'm talking about. We just give him such a good price to call. Whereas if we make it like 13-5, then his options are like shove or fold or maybe still call. But when he does still call, at least we charge him a bit more and we get more chips in the pot. This is just too small. Just too small. But he does go all in anyway, so again, we just expect to see a good hand, most likely. I mean, maybe I was super aggressive at the time, and he's just gonna show up with, you know, ace 7 suited or something, but I wouldn't expect him to. I would expect to see, like, I would expect to see some small pairs, for sure. I would expect to see, like, a 4s plus ace 10 suited type of range. All right, so there it is, the ace 8 suited. Apparently 2012 Tonka knew something 2016 doesn't. Actually, I just know that Decano is like quite aggressive, but I think even still making it like even like 12,900 is going to net the same result. He's going to 4-bet shove as well, and I don't think that I think he just calls with so many hands. Like we charge his 8-7 suited, 8-9 suited a little bit more by 3-betting a little bit bigger. It's just like so much better. So we hold this one, and just like that, 190K. All right. Ace Jack suited. This is going to be a playable hand. I would like to see a check on 10-7 deuce, where we have a decently strong ace high. Don't expect him to have ace king or ace queen too often. He probably 3-bet calls those and gets those in pre-flop on the button. So I don't expect to see ace king or ace queen too often. I do expect our ace high to be the best possible high card. Yeah, so I want to check it over to him and probably check call the flop once. 2 good overcards. Backdoor flush draw, backdoor royal flush draw. How could we fold that? And we do see a check and we see a fold. Okay, so that's just too tight. Much too tight. We want to see a check call. We can easily have the best hand with ace high, and we can easily improve. We have 6 outs to an overpair to the board right now, and we have, you know, all sorts of great cards. Like any club is good. An 8, a 9, a king, or a queen all provide us a straight draw. And if any of those are a club, then we pick up a combo draw. So we just definitely want to be seeing a turn card there. Too tight. Coming in for a raise. Taking it down. 6,500, we see a raise here. This is going to be a shove. He's raising off of 15 big blinds, early position, so we do think he probably has a strong range, but it does not matter. We have a very strong hand, 2 10s, all-in situation, and he folds. Should be a fold with the king 6. Maybe call or ISO with king 9 suited. Pretty huge mistake from the big blind here. It's 6,500 chips into 17,000. So he's getting an incredible price. I think you should probably be calling like 95%, maybe even 100%. 7 deuce offsuit might have enough equity here. This is probably something where we should get like a software open like Poker Stove, where you can run range equities versus each other, and we should probably be doing that, but potentially something to look forward to in the future videos. Ace-10 suited here. Should be a pretty obvious raise. Raise call versus the big blind. Raise call versus all of these guys except for clunched. And we just take it down. Again, I would like an open here. Actually, I don't hate the fold. Like we were talking about the regem stacks before, everybody has like a really good like shoving stack except for clunched and Fibonacci. So I like the fold actually. Easy fold. Again, we should fold here, but like this isn't a bad 3-bet light spot, in my opinion, because I think this Virtuose guy is also a reg and he's quite aggressive. He's already proven he can raise fold off a 15 big blind stack from the exact same position. So I think this could be a good 3-bet fold spot. Our hand strength doesn't really matter because when we're 3-bet folding in this exact scenario, we're not going to see a flop very often. I think our sizing should be 18, 19,000. Basically just make it so big that he either has to fold or go all in. If you make it 19,000 here, he shouldn't really be flat calling, smooth calling too many hands, except for like really strong hands like kings and aces that he thinks he wants to take post flop, because he might think I'm bluffing so much. But we have a nice ace blocker, and yeah, like I said, it's just a pretty good spot. We look really strong from the small blind. It doesn't really matter about the other card. We have the ace blocker, but it's like I'm saying, effectively, we're not going to be playing a pot ever post flop. We should just make it, if we are going to 3-bet here, we make it big enough where his two decisions are to go all in or to fold. But folding is also very good, you know? It does not seem like a spot that you absolutely have to take. It just seems like a spot that could be good depending on the player. But yeah, this guy's opening up, man. He's raising. He's a raiser. I'm curious to see, oh, yo, these suited connectors that I'm folding in middle position and early position. 10-7 suited. We have 200,000. Like 66 big blinds. Come on, dude. What are you doing? Hit the raise button already. I thought I was aggressive at this time. My goodness. At this point in the tournament as well, it's safe to say that I'm probably not playing too many other tables. I will be focusing on this tournament. Big blind 3,000 is right around where you hit the in the money. So we're probably in the money here now. Getting our min cash on. I wouldn't hate to see a call in the big blind versus the 3x, but I don't think that I would have done it back in the good old days. I'm curious to see what happens here. Fibonacci 3-betting 21k off of an 80k stack, putting 25% of his chips in preflop versus what is probably a recreational player's 3x. I say a recreational player's 3x because with these stack sizes, just in general at this blind level, it does not make sense to 3 times the big blind. 2.5x is probably the biggest raise you should be going with here. And that's because a 2.5x raise accomplishes the same thing as a 9,000 raise without losing too many more chips. But you might say, hey, but what if I've got 2 kings and I want to get more chips in the pot? Well, that doesn't really make sense from a GTO standpoint where you want to be balancing your raising ranges, right? So like if you're only risking 7,000 or 7,500 here with a loose open like king 10 offsuit, but you're making it 9,000 with 2 kings because you want to get more value, that should be a very exploitable and very obvious thing that you're doing. So you don't want to do that in the short term. In the long term, you just don't want to do that. So yeah, 3xing here is going to be a bad play. But I'm curious to see what happens in the sand, so we'll watch. I feel like on this board, we could see a fold from Valjake. And I think that if Fibonacci has a very strong value hand, he should just check. It doesn't really make sense unless he has like 2 jacks or 2 10s. And then I would like him just to... Then I would like this bet. If he has 2 jacks, 2 10s, I think he's still scared of an ace or a king coming, so you don't really want to give him a free card. And I do like this bet that it charges him. It's about 25% pot. But I do expect Valjake to be folding most of his hands on this board. Unless he gets sticky with like a pair of 7s or 8s. So he's a 3xer. This guy is going to be a recreational player. He raise calls the ace-queen, and he gets there with the nuts, a boat. Oh, now he min-raises. Mixing it up. So weird. He 3x the ace-queen, but he min-raised the ace-jack. So not really much to go off of there. And then he overshoved. That's totally reasonable for him, for anyone. I mean, it's about 26 big blinds effective with the under the gun, and he has about 34.5 big blinds with only 2 people really effective. So it's not the most insane shove, especially versus what we presume to be quite an aggressive player in Virtuos. I think it's probably better just to call pre-flop here with the 10s, but he gets in a raise situation and he wins. Man, jacks. That's the hand. I think shoving here is best. I think raising is, we're not deep enough to raise. I mean, Fibonacci only has about 24 big blinds, and I don't think that this is a deep enough stack size to where you want to like try to induce here. I just also think we look way too nutted. I think we look weaker if we go all in. I think if we go all in here, we can have a lot more hands like pocket fives, ace 8 suited, you know, weaker hands like that, and maybe induce a call from like ace jack or ace 10, or yeah, maybe eights or something like that. I do expect all of his medium strength hands like ace 10, pocket eights, pocket sevens, you know, king queen suited. I expect all of those to just isolate this shove and go all in instead of calling. But I do think shoving looks the weakest and is the best play. And we do go with the shove, and we do get 2-outered, but not for a massive pot, 44K. That's what you want to do. You want to lose those small ones, you want to win the big ones. So we don't get to play our beautiful 10-9 suit in the button, but who fucking knows, dude? I might even manage to find a fold. We should fold this. He's only 14 big blinds deep, so a set mine here is pretty terrible. And I don't want to like 3-bet call or 3-bet, like it's just, threes is not a good hand to be playing versus a 14 big blind early position open. Okay, I'd really, really, really hope we don't fold. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, oi, oi. Whew. Like, let's take a look at this. We got queen 8. We can make a straight. We can make a pair. Queen is a decently high card. We've got a recreational player, it most definitely seems, on the line here. And we're getting direct odds of 3, 4.5 to 1. So 4.5 to 1 with queen 8. Pretty insane to fold here. These days, with a recreational player in this spot, I'm calling with queen deuce offsuit. Because I think that my post-flop skills are a lot better than they were this time. And I can definitely outplay this guy post-flop. You know, when he checks back flop, betting turn and betting river. Check raising some boards. Just putting some bets in that gets him to fold. Also, you know, extracting value when we do make a good hand. Should fold this. Okay. Jacks again. This is the hand. Wow. So we should go all in here, I think. This is probably the bottom. I'm not sure what we do with 10s. I think this is an ace-king offsuit or ace-king suited jacks plus spot. I think that Chernica is just going to have too many hands like 7s, 8s, 9s, ace-queen, ace-king. And just MTT play is probably on a 8s plus ace-queen or ace-king range. So versus those two ranges, we're going to do pretty well. But we do find a fold, interesting enough. Maybe one of these players was super tight. Again, we don't really have any stats. We don't have much info on them. But first the hands that we're up against, it clearly was a magical, fantastic fold. But I think in retrospect, this should be a call. And we hit the 1-outer. Oh. The action, the up and down roller coaster. We hit the 1-outer on the flop and the 2-outer on the river. But yeah, I do think that that should be in isolation. But I'm quite happy I didn't do it. So we raise ace-queen. We get a call from the recreational player. Looking for, I mean, I don't really hate a bet versus this guy. I think it's a lot better just to check it back. But my default at the time was to continuation bet on most boards. And we pick up the ace on the turn, which is really nice. I would like to see a check back on the turn again, although I can see some reasons for betting it, mostly protection from the hearts. But I think that he has too many like weak one pair hands, and even like, maybe even like a float like king or queen high that he might want to bluff on the river. So I'd love to see a check back here and then just a call on any non-heart river when he bluffs. And we pick up 2 pair. So I think I might even want to raise here. I think that he might check raise the flop with a flush draw. And he could easily have like, you know, ace-7, ace-5, ace-2. And I don't think he has too many flushes. I think this is definitely a spot where we want to raise for value. Pump it up to like 45,000. And if he comes over the top all in, just assume that he has a better hand in the form of a flush. And beautiful. We do come in for a 40,000 raise. And I'm curious to see if he calls. He does. And he's got a weaker 2 pair. So yeah, we played that hand pretty perfectly. Because like I said, he just doesn't have that many flushes when he just check calls the flop. And he doesn't have any sets either, because I think that all of those should check raise in the flop. So he's left with mostly busted straight draws, 1 pair small hands like 7, 8 suited that he's now turning the 7 into a bluff because it's a scary run out, and weaker 2 pair combos. So I think it's definitely a spot where we need to be raising for value with the intention to fold if he comes over the top with a flush. Jesus. Queen 7 in position, like, this is absolute madness. Some of these hands that we're folding pre-flop are crazy. This is what I mean though, guys. 5 years ago, our game has come a long way in 5 years. I probably would have called, I definitely would have called the 9 big blind versus clunged here if it had been folded. Easy fold now that just MTT play gets in. I expect him to have a stronger, well, I actually expect him to have a weaker range of hands, because in a similar-ish spot before, not even close to the same actually, but a kind of similar spot with the kings, he went all in. So I wouldn't be surprised to see like him fold here or even have like 2 9s. Yeah, there it is. So that's something that you can just like pick up on, you know? You can see like if a player calls with a big hand, you can expect versus an all-in when they can overshove. Probably expect them to have bigger hands in the future when they go all in. If they just do this calling like they did here, then they're probably weaker if they had shoved a bigger hand before. Queen. Oh. So we should play this 9-7 suited. But I'm just like really tight in this tournament. Like, I'm not calling. I'm not trying to see flops with suited connections. I'm not really 3-betting. I'm mostly just playing like vanilla, straightforward, tight poker. Which at the time, with my skill set, probably best. This is what I mean though. This is a really good board to check back. We have the nut high card. We're not really getting any worse hands to fold. Or we're not really getting any better hands than our king queen to fold. Which is like kind of what we're doing, right? We're bluffing on the king high flop. Well, we're not bluffing. We're protecting our equity by betting the king queen here, because we don't get any better hands to fold. So we're basically saying, I got king high, I need to protect my hand when he has a hand like jack 10 or 5-6 suited, you know, because I don't want him to catch up. But he does call, so now we're going to check. And now we're going to check it all the way down. And he has jack 10. So, I mean, in retrospect, it worked out. We protected our hand. We got 11K in value. But I still think it's better to check it back here. And I do think that we should assume that he has a lot of better hands on this kind of board. And if we do want to bet, it should be with the intention to get a hand like 2 6s or, you know, jack 9 suited to fold. And we need to bet twice in order to get that to happen, because he's not going to fold to a single flop continuation bet. So don't like our line on that play, even though it did end up working out. 5-9 suited. Please, please, please tell me we don't fold this. Oh my goodness. We just don't call the big blind. We literally never call the big blind. And you have to call the big blind. You have to call it. You're getting 4.5 to 1. Put the chips in the middle. Fuck. What the fuck? Why are we so tight? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. All right, so now we're 3-betting with 6s? Come on, man. You fold a 5-9 offsuit, but now you're going to toss a 3-betting with 6s? You're 3-bet bluffing with 6s? You sure as shit aren't 3-bet calling 30 big blinds with 6s for fever forever? Maybe super aggressive, though, and this is good. I would still like to go a little bit bigger out of position. 30,000 should be good. I want to do a full 3x here. I think that 26.45 gives him a little bit too much of a good price to call. But again, this is 2012 poker, not 2016 poker, where people do not peel 3-bets as wide, do not peel their big blinds as wide. That's how the game has transitioned in the last 4 years. People call a lot more. By peel, I just mean calling. Like, if you're peeling, you're calling a bet or a raise or a 3-bet. And we do get 4-bet, and now we're going to fold. Way to fucking go, dude. Nice play. Nice play. I knew this was going to be painful. I knew coming into this that I was going to make all sorts of mistakes and I was going to be mad at myself. But to be fair, you know, I was only playing poker professionally for like 2.5, 3 years at this point, and I thought I was a lot better than I was. Now I'm not ashamed to say it all. I don't think I'm amazing these days, you know? I think everybody's so good. Everybody's caught up. Like, the game is just, there's so many sources out there. Look at me. I'm making video content on YouTube right now, you know? Some of you guys out there with like a $2 average buy-in, gambling it up on Fridays and Saturday nights are benefiting from this. And like, there's just so much content out there. So yeah, it's a lot easier to be good at poker these days than it was back then even. Blinds are up to 6K. Actually, we might as well watch some of these hands, you know? It's interesting enough to see how our opponents are playing. We can pick up some reads off of them. So we see a pretty standard raise, C-bet, and now river bet. Assuming the Fibonacci probably has ace-king, ace-jack, ace-10, king-jack. We do not get to see a river, though, so... Oh, we do not get to see the cards. Someone busted there. Moss up. We see a 3-bet, really tiny 3-bet. Not even 2 times the raise. This has got to be bladed, right? Aces. Yep. That's what I mean, you know? It's just too obvious. Guy makes it 13-2. 2x raise is 26-4, and he makes it 25-5. Too small, too small. We're gonna raise with the king 10. So I'll raise with a hand like king 10 offsuit, but I won't raise with a hand like jack 9 suited here. That just doesn't make sense. Jack 9 suited is arguably a better hand to raise here than king 10 offsuit. It's dominated less, it's suited, it's a little bit more connected. It's just, I would prefer these days to raise jack 9 suited in this situation than king 10. I would love to see a check back here, but I know 2012 Parker is going to bet. We have a gut shot, we have a weak backdoor flush shot. This kind of board hits the big blind's range decently hard, even though we kind of block things with a king and a 10. I'd love to see a check back. Again, we're gonna see a bet though, because 2012 Tonka loves to continuation bet. Oh! Slow clap for you, sir. Slow clap for you. Well done on the check back. All right, we got 2 straight shots. Now I really want to see a bet. I want to see a bet of like 21,000 here and potentially followed up by a river bluff. Oh, we take the free one off. Now I want to see a check down because I think he has too many like ace 5 offsuits. He's just going to call us on the river. And yeah, I probably want to bet twice with this king 10. Like I want to bet the turn and try to represent like a weak value hand or like a flop nutted hand. And get him to fold like ace 8 or king 8 or 6-7, you know, stuff like that with like weak 1 pair hands. But I don't really know what he does. Did he check? He checks. So now I want to check it back, and I just don't think that if we bet 16, 17,000 here that he's going to fold any 1 pair hands. I think he's going to call all of them. This bet just doesn't seem good to me. I think we're getting hands that we beat to fold. I think we're getting, you know, 10-5 suited and 5-4 suited. I mean, Jesus, there's not very many combos of hands. Jack 7 suited. Like there's not very many combos of hands that we get to fold here because they're all worse hands than us. If he has like 8-7 or Jack 9 or 10-9 or 10-8 or Jack 8, I think he looks us up a bunch here. I mean, we do kind of rep an ace checking back twice. Like, I guess we do rep like ace 5 suited and like ace 10 and ace Jack and ace king even by checking back twice. And we would value bet an ace now, but I still think that we just don't get enough to fold. But we take it down. So we do rep an ace quite well, but I just think for that price as well, we just price him into call with any 9 or queen. I guess he's not calling with an 8 or a 6 that often. Stumping myself. Wouldn't hate a cold 4-bet here. I think the people 3-bet a lot back in the day. A little bit less than they do, a little bit more than they do now. But I think this is a decent cold 4-bet spot regardless. And we do take it. I don't like the sizing, it's too small. Basically, Fibonacci is going to call too often for 22K into what's out there. 64, 94, almost 100,000 chips are out there, and it's 22,000 to him to call. He's getting 5-1 on a call in what's already a huge pot, so he should definitely be clicking the call button with like basically everything he's 3-betting. That's why this size is just so terrible. We should make it like 69. You know, if it's 39 there, then it's like, it's way bigger. But we get it through. So indeed a good spot. I like that we took it. I'm happy that we took the spot, but I think we need to go a little bit bigger. Gonna raise the button here, of course. See a flop. Would love a check back. We even have the ace of hearts, but okay, we do check back. Now we need to bet. We need to get money in the pot. Okay, interesting. So our bet is very small and weak on the turn, which I like. So this is actually induced a raise, probably as a bluff. We should definitely just call here. Re-raising does not make sense. He often has a better hand if he has a value hand in the form of ace 8, ace 9, ace 10, ace jack, ace 5, or pocket 5s, even assuming that like we're gonna check raise the turn a lot. So a call makes complete sense. Now I'm just going into basically auto check call mode. Whatever he bets, I'm just gonna call. And he does have a 1 better. He has 1 pip that's there with the ace 8. An unfortunate hand, but I think we lost the minimum. Pretty big cooler there, ace 8 versus ace 7. So we raise under the gun with ace 2 suited. Fine raise. Where did Fibonacci get all those chips? Right here. Right here. Let's see what happened. We see a raise, we see a bet, and a call. I guess we're just gonna see him 3-barrel here unless he shoves the turn. All right, so what do we think Fibonacci has when he 2 barrels here and then calls it off? Like flushes and boats, I guess? I guess he could have like ace king or king queen with a club, or just ace king or king queen without a club. He does have a flush, flush over flush. Drawing dead. Must be nice, sir. Must be nice. Oops. So we do raise with the ace 2. Get called, good flop. I don't mind betting on this texture especially. Betting with the intention to check back the turn. He raises. Don't like that. but we have to call. This is also one of the problems with betting the flop, but... Ooh, that's a bad turn card. We gotta give it up now. Fuck, that sucks. I think that is probably overall why it's better to check back the turn, or check back the flop. You dodge situations like that. I just think it's definitely better to check back, and then you can bet the turn, and you can call a lead from him on the turn. He can be bluffing. We have hit 4K, 8K, so I'm gonna stop recording for the night. Thank you guys for checking out part 3 of episode 1 of Throwback Hand History Reviews. This is the $215 Sunday warm-up from February 2012. $118,000 for first. We're gonna have 4 more parts out, so be sure to stay tuned for that. This is the it's the Tuesday the 29th today. This is going to be my last day streaming on Twitch for a few weeks, doing a little bit of traveling. EPT Prague, gonna be out and about, but we planned to release daily content, and by plan I mean we will 100% be releasing daily content here on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/teamNeverLucky, for the remainder of, I don't know, for the next, like, foreseeable month at least, but for sure while I'm away on Twitch. So yeah, this is going to be my last stream today. Thank you guys for checking out the video, and be sure to check out the other ones. If you managed to miss part 1 or part 2, get caught up, get back there and check them out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. It's sellout time, boys. Check it out.